I would like to invite our chief guest, because he has to rush for the other meetings, former Union Minister, Mr. KJ Alphonse. And I would like to say a few words about him, although Mr. Alphonse is no stranger to headlines. With a distinguished career spanning various roles in the Indian Administrative Service, including serving as the Union Minister for Culture, Tourism, Electronics and IT, Mr. Alphonse brings a unique perspective to the conclave. For Delhiites, Mr. Alphonse is known as the demolition man who brought down many illegal buildings during his stint as the Commissioner of DDA. A 1979 batch IAS officer from Kerala cadre, hailing from a small background. Here are few things to know about Mr. KJ Alphonse, who was the Minister of State in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's ministry. He began a literary drive in Kottayam as a collector and turned it into the India's first 100% literate district. And this model was later introduced on other parts of country. In 1990, as I said, he earned the title of Demolition Man. And in 94, he was selected as the 100 young global leaders of the Time magazine. He quit civil service in 2006 and joined politics. First, MLA from Kanjirapalli, backed by CPM, and later on in 2011, he failed out and joined the BJP. I invite Mr. KJ Alphonse, a big round of applause for Mr. KJ Alphonse for his keynote address as a chief guest.
Mr. Pandey, my distinguished colleagues on the dais, and ladies and gentlemen, very, very happy to be here, but I'm really pretty unwell, so I wouldn't speak long. Very happy to be here at this Business Connect Corporate Enclave. I'm sure my colleagues here, in fact, Mr. Dwivedi is from the Prime Minister's office. He would be able to enlighten us. We have people from the states, Mr. Sharma from the state, and from the Nidhi Aayog. Very, very distinguished panelists are there. So they would go into the details of it. And of course, I see a very long list of guests who would be speaking here, with whom you would interact and come up with, go back entries at the end of the day. Well, I'm a believer in traditional values. Today you open the newspaper and all that it talks about is artificial intelligence. Unless you have artificial intelligence, unless you are right up there, you are going to be left behind. What is really artificial intelligence? It is just things picked up from the web, yes or no? That's it. There is not one comma, one word which is not in the web which is picked up by artificial intelligence. Therefore, if we tend to believe that the future is going to be artificial intelligence, and therefore we are missing out on something unless you are going to be huge experts in that, I think we are mistaken. In fact, when I came out with the book last year, Accelerating India, 7 Years of Modi Government, in the chapter on digital platforms, in the last paragraph, I had written a very interesting thing. I said, in a few years' time, we are going to have a chip fixed in our brain, and then we don't need to educate ourselves anymore. We don't need to read anymore. Everything will be fed into the mind. So when I sent it to the editor, he said, sir, this seems to be absolutely crazy idea. Let's not put it into the book. Let's delete that paragraph. I insisted it should be in the paragraph. 2 weeks back, Neuralink of of Musk had the first transplant. And today I read in the newspaper, by his thought process, he was able to move a mouse. Yes, ultimately we all end up being mouse and mice. We shall. There's no doubt on that. So things move so fast. What I thought was so unreal, what my editor thought was so unreal just 2 years back, it's happening. But I'm a believer in traditional values. And what are those traditional values? And if our country is going to go ahead, I think we need to go back to the traditional values. And if I look at traditional values, I think the best example is the Prime Minister of India. I mean, look at him. When he came from Gujarat, he didn't speak too much of English. In 10 years' time, the kind of miracle that he's done in India. And as somebody who is the most effective CEO of the world, I use the word CEO of the world, I think this is what is going back to traditional values of number one, of being able to dream. The Prime Minister was able to dream big for the country. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first thing in every sector, be it in government, be it in the corporate sector, the ability to dream, number one. We are taught, for the time we go to a nursery school, blah, blah, black sheep, London Bridge falling. Yeah, this is what we are taught. And when I was Secretary Higher Education Kerala, I organized a reception for the girl who came first in the 12th class in Kerala. Massive function, the Chief Minister was present. And she was, every newspaper carried a story saying she is the most brilliant girl in the state. When we came down after the function, I asked her a very simple question. Hey, what are you going to do with your life? Simple question. What are you going to do with your life? And this most brilliant girl, you know what was the reply? She thought for a long time and then she replied, she says, sir, I'll go home, I'll ask my mother, and then I will tell you. To me, she is mentally challenged. The most brilliant kid in the state. How she become a topper? Again, when I was Higher Education Secretary, I got a mother coming to meet me, very angry with her daughter. She says, my daughter got only 499 out of 500. Where is that one mark gone? I said, congratulations, young girl, you are brilliant. You got 499 out of 500. And why is your mother not happy? And you know what was the reply? She says, sir, I wrote everything to the last comma correct, and why didn't I get 500? Kids get 100 out of 100 in English literature, in politics, and in history. I do not understand how on earth it happens because, and the answer is very simple. You are taught a formula, you reproduce that formula, and you get 100 out of 100. Now, this is a problem with the country. I was member of the drafting committee for new education policy. I was the only politician in that committee. And we came out with a fantastic document. We said, let the child be able to dream. Let him dream, let her dream. Don't tell her what is the truth. Let him or her discover what is the truth. Let her discover what is knowledge, not what is handed over by the teacher. So we have serious problems. I wish the new education policy gets implemented quickly in the spirit of it so that we don't really have motors, robots running around with commas and full stops and formula, but people who are able to think. So these are going back to traditional values. Traditional value of being able to dream. Number two, being able to share the dream with somebody else. And third, work hard to realize those dreams. Let me tell you a story. This is when I was Commissioner for Entrance Examination, Kerala. And this examination is conducted to select students who will go to the engineering and medical colleges. About 200,000 people apply in Kerala. And generally, it takes 3 months for the results to be declared. 3 months. I went to the office and I told them, look here, we have the reputation of being the worst office in the world. After the results are declared in 3 months, there's so much of tension in 3 months. Am I in? Am I out? I mean, so much of heartburn, heart attack for parents waiting for 3 months for the results to come out. And when the results come out, somebody challenges the results in the High Court and says, questions were wrong, answers were wrong, and therefore the High Court will say, reassess, revalue. It takes 6 months for the whole process to be over. And then you start your classes late. And I told the people after 1 week, let's make this office the best office in Trivandrum. Hey guys, why don't you guys put your phone down, for a moment? I come all the way, I'm sick and I'm here and a lot of you are on phone. This is a problem. We have no traditional values. You think your phone is going to give you solutions? I said, let's make this office the best office in Trivandrum. So we would try. After 2 weeks, I said, let's make this office the best office in Kerala. After 3 weeks, I said, let's make this office the best office in the world. I'm telling the worst office, let's be the best office in India. And then after the 4th week, I said, let's make this office the best office in the whole world. This is it. Having a dream, sharing the dream with my people, and then we got down to hard work. I'm talking about traditional values being relevant, okay? Not your AI, not your WhatsApp. I'm talking about traditional values in which the Prime Minister believes in. A dream for India, sharing the dream with India, and then hard work. I was asking Mr. Dwivedi, how many hours does he work? He says, maybe 18 hours. He says, when I see the Prime Minister working so hard, and when I see the Principal Secretary working so hard, how can we not work? So we got on to working, and then after the exams, do you know how many days we took to declare the results instead of 3 months? 7 days. We declare the results on the 7th day. We can say we beat any corporate sector in the world in accomplishing that. How come we reduce it from 3 months to just 7 days? This is it. Having a dream, sharing the dream with your people, setting them on fire, and then the hard work comes naturally, and then the results are produced. After the examination, none of us from my office, we were only 24 people, nobody went home. Nobody went home. We stayed in the office. I brought mattresses from my home. I got nice mutton biryani, chicken biryani, ice creams, fixed a nice karaoke. I said people can sing, celebrate, and we did it. And when we declared the results on the 7th day, ladies and gentlemen, 6 newspapers wrote editorial on us saying that miracles are possible. And let me tell you, whatever happens in the government, the same principles are applicable to the corporate sector. Exactly the same principles. No difference. You are having a goal, your man management, you're being able to fire your employees with your idea. And that's not difficult. When I came as Commissioner DDA in 1992, I was the first South Indian to be Commissioner DDA. And everybody said, oh, this is Madrasi, what can you do? We were all called Madrasis those days. I don't care. You can call me anything. This Madrasi can't do anything. I had 36,000 employees. And before I came, not a brick was demolished. About 10% of DDA's land, DDA has about 125,000 acres of land. 10% was encroached. I said, make a list of encroachments. We made a list. And to our utter shock, we found that the top 10 encroachers were politicians. And who was number 1 on the list? A very famous man, H.K.L. Bhagat. Have you heard about him? He was instrumental in burning alive 5006 in 1984 after Indira Gandhi's assassination, the biggest mafia leader of Delhi. He was a former union minister. He was then the president of Delhi Congress. And I said, a very simple law, take on the biggest criminal first, biggest offender first. Don't catch small little guys. My officer, sir, are you sure? You won't be alive tomorrow evening. He will burn you alive. I said, let's see. Now, I shared my dream with my people. So, my dear people, have guts to take decisions. Say no when you have to say a no. And think out of the box. Oh, my predecessors didn't do it. Sorry. No, I'm here. You are here because you are assigned. You are in that post to do something which is very special. Don't say my predecessor didn't do it. Let's look at antecedents. Don't look at any of these antecedents. Just decide that you are here. God is put you in that seat to do something which is different. So be prepared. So our decision is taken. Next one, ladies and gentlemen, is a preparation. You see, a lot of us have a problem. You take a decision, without adequate preparation, you jump it. You won't succeed. You know what we did? For the next 10 days, we prepared right down to the minutest commas. We wrote down everything, ran over. Finally, we landed up in a model town. And you know, the demolition team, you know what was it? 10,000 policemen with guns on open trucks. In front of that, 25 massive bulldozers. In front of that, me and my Great Dane on an open Jeep with my Stetson hat, my gun on my side. When we land up at 5 o'clock, everybody thought some foreign country had invaded India. We said, relax. Over the next 36 hours, we reduced this building. You know what was the size of the building? 200,000 square feet, where we reduced it to dust. Next day, of course, all over the newspapers, the demolition man comes to Delhi. Over the next 5 years, we knocked down 14,310 illegal mansions in Delhi. I don't demolish slums. Where will they go? Point is, people will say, oh my God, you've done miracles. Sorry, I did no miracles. Whatever I did, anybody else can do it. I mean, this is why I'm talking to you. That's why I came. Whatever I did, anybody else can do it, but you just need one thing. You need the will to do it. You need the backbone to do it. I believe the most important equipment in your body is not your brain, it's your backbone. The ability to stand up and say, I will stand up, I will do my job. We need to have the backbone to do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, same principles apply in the corporate sector. You need ethical practices. I built Dwaraga, the sub-city. I acquired 5,000 acres of land, I designed, I built it. I don't even have a studio apartment anywhere in the world. Don't we need ethical practices? How many companies are going the IBC route, getting a haircut of 95%? Is Indian industry ethical? Ask yourself. Before the project is approved, is implemented, whatever you put it, you take it back. Isn't it true? Yes or no? Where is ethics? Arrogance? We government, we are known for arrogance. We bureaucrats. But the higher we go, I think the humbler we should be. Yes or no? I mean, who am I when I was a minister or an IAS officer or anybody whom people have elected, put in this place to be arrogant to its citizen? Do we have the right to? We don't have to. But look at the corporate sector. Anybody who makes a crore, he thinks he is greater than the prime minister. Anybody who makes 10 crores is a big guy. Anybody who makes 100 crores, oh my God. The arrogance in the private sector is more than the arrogance in the government. We need to stop. I think we just need to rethink a whole lot of things if India has to be competitive. Under Prime Minister Modi, the ease of doing business has improved dramatically. India is today the place to invest. We are the place, but we need to change a lot. Our bureaucrats need to change. See, fantastic things are happening in the state. Mr. Misra is there. Mr. Ji, in the states, things are not happening. I'm sorry. We made things so much easier. Government of India has made things so much easier. But you go to a state like mine, Kerala. I'm from Kerala. I'm from the Kerala cadre of the IAS. It's impossible to start a business in Kerala. And that is the case with many states. The number of sanctions you insist on, the red tape which you still have in the states, even though Government of India has taken away, removed a lot of red tapes, actual governance should take place in the states, and it's not happening in many other states. We need to change dramatically. We IAS officers need to change. We ministers need to change. The industry needs to change. And don't expect everything from the government. Come on, get to work. Get to work. Get to doing things. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've given you a piece of my mind. Go back to traditional values of dreaming, sharing the dream, of hard work, having your backbone in the right place, and believing in yourself. You can do it. I was one of the toppers of the 79 batch. I quit IAS, became an independent MLA. I quit because I wanted Modi to become Prime Minister in 2011 when I was renominated. I joined the party. I became a union minister. I was a member of parliament. I was on the cover of Time magazine in 1994. Guess how much I got in my 10th board examination? Anybody wants to make a guess? I got 42% in my 10th board exam. I come from a village. I studied under the kerosene lamp because my village didn't have electricity. I couldn't write one sentence of English properly when I passed my school. I taught myself. So there is nothing called a genius who is born. Every one of us is a genius. You just got to believe it. That's it. Believe, hard work. Now there's a massive debate going on how much you should work. I'm sorry. And when Narayana Murthy said you should work 70 hours a day, a week, oh my God, there was such an outcry. Sorry. There is no alternative to hard work. Traditional values. Go back to hard work. I mean, I still remember on a Sunday when I was minister, I would go to the office, just myself, not my private secretary, no pews, nobody. I would open my office. One day I went to the office. I generally wear a jeans and a T-shirt on a Sunday. I went there. And the security man stopped me. And I said, I'm the minister. He said, yeah, a lot of people think they are ministers. Wouldn't let me in. So my private secretary had to talk to the security guy to let me in. Go and work. I mean, the prime minister works so hard. He makes the ministers work so hard. The bureaucracy works so hard. Sorry, we have no soft options. We are still at $2,000 per capita. We are not yet there. Just remember this. We got to reach up there, which means it's a long journey, and we are in the right direction. And that is why the private sector needs, the corporate leadership needs to make sure that it's a long journey. We haven't arrived yet. It's a long journey to arrive. And I hope from this conclave, you take back values. I mean, I'm saying take back the traditional values, but use technology. Absolutely use technology, because technology makes it so much easier for you to deliver. So thank you so much. I wish the conclave all the very best, and thank you, Mr. Pandey, for inviting me here.